It's about damn time the humble guardsman gets a voice. We see channels all the time talk about Warhammer news, but do we hear from you, the guardsman? No. And this is going to change. I, as your commissar, shall give you a voice. I lit the beacon on Discord and many have called. We are going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, my thoughts, your thoughts, and the facts. Let's do this. First, we're going to start off with the good. These look great. There's a lot of detail to them. I absolutely love Beaky Boys, probably my second favorite to Mach 3. And you could probably do a lot of conversions with this for like late Horus Heresy. Personally for me, I would go ahead and paint more like purple with gold trim to remember the Legion days. But I think they did a really good job on this. And what was it, Skolinski, I believe on Discord, posted this picture, and after looking at this, they look very similar. And I would have to say that's a big plus. I love the extra detail, and I feel like we see less of that in Warhammer 40k versus our Horus Heresy and our Age of Sigmar. And also I like how they push these jet stabilizers out, like in the picture. So I would say that this is honestly a win. If you're a heretic, of course. Next, we're gonna go ahead and go to the Noise Marines. These also look really good. I like the detail. I know there's a lot of complaints like on Discord saying that these are gonna be an absolute pain to paint, and they probably would be. But again, when you look at the 90s artwork, it actually looks just like it pretty much. And I think they look pretty cool. So I would say that this also is a good movement in the direction that we want for Warhammer 40k. I don't know if you can see that with me there. There you go. They kept this. And then when you look at the Forge World models of the Noise Marines, I would say that this is an upgrade. They're more detailed, they added more to it, and it looks more like their original artwork. Although the face on this one looks pretty good. I like the grotesque look of this. And I believe a comment also said on YouTube that Discord, saying that they're looking more cartoony, faces are. Where this one is obviously not. GW has been lying to us. They write a book of lies. And it all starts with Lucius the Eternal. And no, it's not because he wears high heels. He's just a short king that's jealous of Primaris height. But that's not it. It's that GW tells us that Lucius the Eternal wields the very same sword as Fulgrim, the same sword that cut the head off Ferrus Manus. But we are told that he wields this cursed sword, the legendary Blade of Lair, found by Fulgrim during the height of the Great Crusade. And this is wrong, and I can prove it. First, we're starting off with it. As you can see, this is the blade. There's a completely different blade here, a different handguard, a different pommel. There's a clear indentation, a very unique looking sword. Kind of similar to a sickle. But here, this is a saber. Completely different handguard, different sword. There's not even decoration on this one like we see in the previous one. And you can see it right here. This is not the same. Here, he wields it. It even has the decoration on here. It's not exact, but it looks fairly similar. It's got that sharp indentation here and it goes up. He doesn't wield it there. So we can say that this is not Lucius the Eternal. On the bright note though, we do get a new iron hands, so that's a bonus. I would also say that the tongue, the face, the whip is also an improvement as well. I would say this looks very cool. Now in the original, we have him looking like this, with all the faces all over him, looking really kind of cool. I really like that. And it's kind of hard to see because they painted it all black. But he does have faces all over him. And I didn't notice this at first, but he does have some also on the back of the leg here as well. So that's a positive. Now it's time for the ugly. This one's okay. But this right here, we have finally learned the truth about the Emperor's children. They were never human all along. They were the Xenos Coneheads this entire time. And that is why they fell to chaos. As you can see, it's the same. And this is 100% canon. Now it's time to hear what Warhammer fans have to say about the new Emperor's Children. All of these comments come from the Discord channel, and I try to pick comments that talked about everything. Now I said on there, upvote the comments that you want to be shown. And a lot commented, and not a lot of upvotes. So I had to read and just choose them, because we can't go through all of them. So I did choose quite a bit though, so we'll go through them. Kiro said, the new Lucius model looks exceptionally grotesque and well modeled. The face and the armors look well modeled, and the whip too is impressive. And I would say I completely agree with that. When you look at the older one, okay, I forgot to change it. It is a big improvement, right? Obviously this model is gonna be pretty old, but I think it does look pretty good. And if you do change the paint job, it probably would look, where is it? Would look very similar to it. Yeah, I do agree that people kit bashing them is going to look good as well. And there is a flavor for everyone in 40K. That's why we have so many. It's a trick by the Commissar. Don't let yourself get fooled, comrades. She wants to see who's a loyal servant of the Emperor and who is secretly being infected by the power of Slaanesh. Keep your guard up, rereading the Imperial Guardsman Handbook, or she got a new gun and is looking for volunteers. I really like the new models without sounding heretical, of course. It's really nice to see such difference between the chapters. I really wish the Space Marines had more diversity between the chapters as well. I think we all want this, right? 30K, our Horus Heresy, there's a lot more uniqueness to the chapters that we don't see as often now. By Skolinski, he's the one who had those pictures. I think I have it down here. Yeah. Those are really fun to look at. I actually really like the minis. I feel they properly represent what Slaanesh Marines should look like. Armor covering all vital spots, but expose adamants and other regions for pleasure of pain when they get hit in non-vital points. So this is actually a plus, because this is lore accurate. I think the details look great and the facials and the body modifications make sense to the faction. Lucius the Eternal also looks awesome and lore accurate. I don't know if this artwork is official, but I've always liked how it represented Slaanesh Marines. And I feel like these minis were directly inspired by this artwork. I would say that they definitely are inspired by it. Now, one thing that they did have back for Forge World was that the faces almost looked kind of like melted. We don't see that anymore, but I would say that they do look good. I feel these mean, yeah, Chaos Marines aren't for everyone, but I think they did a really good job at making them unique compared to other Chaos Legions. They did make them very unique, and I do think this was a big plus for them. Commissar, I think the new Emperor's Children are the typical example of Chaos Space Marines. The style is not for me because I do not like the comic book style faces. And that is something that we do see a lot more lately in the 40K, is that there is less definition to it. They are slightly more comic book, but this might also just be fixed with a different paint style as well. This is more of that easy or EV metal style. And to me, that kind of just makes them look more cartoony. I know it's still favored by a lot of people, but I like grimdark look. It clashes more with Games Workshop using the higher print quality to shift all ranges towards a more serious look. It's objectively fitting, but I wish there were more options for Chaos with just trims and spikes without the faces. You know, also, there's probably going to be helmets for the head options as well. Lucius is a Chaos Space Marine, which makes the model special is the array of vials of the whip. Nothing about that is bad, but there's too bloody many Chaos Space Marines for the model to stand out beyond its features. And that is a big one, because when you look at these Noise Marines, I think they're up more. Yeah. They look absolutely awesome. Right? They have all of this extra, they really do stand out. And the only thing that you have for Lucius really is the whip and the face. From an old timer who remembers the redacted of redacted, these minis feel over-designed, difficulty to paint, and modern. Lucy is just okay, but I'd have to do a lot of kit bashing to get him up to the real Lucius. The head is good, and there are many bits I could use for other projects, but it's a lot tamer than I would like from the Slaanesh Chaos Space Marines. I would say that's fair. He does just kind of look beefier. If I can find it. Yeah, I can see that. I can see how people would say that. I like this much more than the functional looking Primaris. You know, one thing with Primaris is that we're playing Space Marine 2, and we can see how decorated they can be, but we just don't get that. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not mine. The Emperor's Children designs are presented in the trailer, have so many more details going on. They also look like they like what they do, and you can't say that about many people in Warhammer. Maybe the orcs, and those are even too hardcore for the most fanatic among fanatics. Wish their faces could be more deformed, comical, and humane. They look a bit too tame for my taste, but that's the only thing I'd change. A paint to paint. Yeah, it would be. Fitting in considering the faction. Yeah. That does seem like a pretty decent one. Do they have them for these? Just a regular face? Yeah. When you do compare these faces, it's kind of hard to see on there, to... Oh my goodness, I'm just gonna be scrolling through this. These are really deformed. They're really grotesque. And they're not as grotesque now. Milo, it's been quite some time that the Emperor's Children has some models and ranges. It's almost like GW forgot about them. It's also very refreshing to see some good models in 40K for me, since some of the last release of GW were pretty mid. Let's not forget the Sanctuary Guards without their wings. Yeah, that's a big one. Fulgrim looks amazing, Lucius looks even more full of himself, and the rest of what they announced all look great. I have been toying with the idea of playing them once they got teased to release. This one I thought was pretty funny. I can respect that. We just got this. And I just got more of this than this. Yeah, I just love the fact that this pink is like the exact same color. And I can see that. They're okay. Don't think the box art paint scheme does any favors for them. I do completely agree with that. If they made these a little bit more grim dark, I think I would like it better. Even this flesh, they have some on the other ones. Oh, kind of covering it. Right here, they have flesh, and it's just, it honestly just looks kind of like Ushabby bone. It barely looks like flesh right here. Seem a little sanitized and clean, lacking a bit of character, but it does apply to a lot of GW minis as of late. I do think a lot of us think this way. They should just get the guys who made the Nuka minis to do everything, to be honest. And we can see like the Horse Heresy minis lately, what they've been coming out with, do look great. The Creeks, they look great, and they're out now. Just on back order for everything that's on Games Workshop right now. Or just the Warhammer page. And yeah, 30K, they've been doing really great sculpts. As well as Age of Sigmar. They've been doing really good sculpts on there as well. They seem super cool, love the designs, and they look like a blast to paint. People could get some really fun paint schemes with these. I do agree with the paint schemes. And I personally like detail. I know that these would be harder to paint, but I do think you can make them look really cool. So glad to see getting a proper release. I really appreciate how distinct they look, and I think that's what we all want. Fulgrim is an awesome centerpiece, and I look forward to painting him, even if I'm not going to fully dive into the Emperor's Children as an army. I agree with the exception of Fulgrim looking good. 30K Fulgrim looks good. 40K Fulgrim looks like an eel Zoolander. Remember, it's heresy not to like and subscribe to this video. And if you want to be part of discussions like this, check the description below for a link to Discord. It's also free. And if you want even more content, check out my gaming channel at Nuka Kitten Gaming. Bye!